day 2 of our friends Washington DC tour. This time, we made an effort to visit as many of Washington's attractions as we could. We started at the US Capitol. We started at the Capitol primarily due to the parking options. This is our third trip to Washington to see the parks, and I've never had trouble finding the free parking just next to the Capitol reflection pool. Additionally, it's the ideal location to begin your tour by walking. You can stop whenever you like, whenever you want to see the Smithsonian museums just along the way when you walk from the Capitol to the end, which is the Lincoln Memorial. The distance between the Capitol and the Lincoln Memorial on the National Mall is 2 miles, which is a considerable walk for most people. However, if you take your time and stop to see things along the way, as I've said, you should be able to walk around the entire park in less than a day. The National Mall is a national park with beautifully designed gardens and vast open areas that are frequently utilized for community gathering, speeches, marches, protests, and other events all year long. So that's why if you want to go there, plan your visit, make sure that there's no big events that going on, so that it's not traffic, not too much crowded, and you will be able to go all of the parks without any restrictions. The 10 Smithsonian Institution Museum that reside on the mall are among the most well-known of the several permanent attractions there, offering a diverse and range of exhibits ranging from art to space exploration. So you can find the White House, of course the US Capitol building, the National Gallery of Art, and the US Botanic Garden are few further notable landmarks in the mall. But the best way to see all of the national monuments, if you want to do sightseeing, is to go for a tour, a sightseeing tour, which typically offers transportation between monuments that are farther apart. There are also accessible parking places in a few locations on the mall, and all of the Smithsonian museums and memorials are set up assist visitors with impairments. So you can also rent a mobility scooter. Mobility scooter could be the most convenient option for an elderly for the elderly people. All right. Okay, this is the US Botanic Garden. What to see here? You can see lions, tigers, elephant. Of course, you will not see that here. Plants and flowers. A lot of plants and flowers to explore. Alright, as we show you the video clips from our tour, let's talk about some of the biggest challenges that immigrants may face and how this may affect us. The most significant issues we nurses migrants facing today, number 1 is housing. The most at risk or vulnerable group of people when it comes to housing is likely immigrants in general. That is because it is very difficult for us to find safe, decent, and reasonable priced housing. On a nationwide level, the housing market activity has started to show a year-over-year decline in home prices, but at the moment, rates are still high. Recently, I was pre-approved for housing financing, and they give me a fixed 30-year APR of 6.7 and an interest of 6.5. which is really high, and I think it's not a good time to have a house right now or to purchase a house right now in the US. But I'm hoping that as inflation slows down, rates will gradually fall throughout 2023. So let's wait and see. The next thing, or the next challenge for us, is the access to medical services. People should have access to healthcare services regardless of their nationality, right? It's a human right. However, healthcare here in the US is expensive. In order for you to access a good healthcare is through insurance. A lack of insurance often contributes to a lack of healthcare. But insurance premiums are also expensive. Insufficient insurance coverage is also a big problem. And the cost of this is the high insurance fee. So because the insurance fee or the insurance premium is high, you will end up sometimes getting the low premiums or the low monthly insurance. But availing that will cost you to have a low insurance coverage. The cost of this high insurance fee is the increasing healthcare cost. This challenge is dire and far-reaching. Financial need and insufficient coverage to pay medical bills can lead to people skipping their necessary care for themselves and their families, including preventive screenings, dental care, and pediatric visit that track important childhood health milestones. I will give you some example how expensive the medical services or the healthcare services here in the US. Recently, my friend's 2 children were hospitalized for a week with pneumonia, and he racked up astonishing medical expenses of $15,000 each for his kids. Since his copay or the out-of-pocket is only $8,000 US, the remaining $22,000 is covered by his insurance. Imagine pneumonia costing more than 1.6 million pesos in the Philippines. That is equivalent to $30,000 US. That's too much, right? Okay. Next issues is the transportation. The ability to drive a car can be essential here in the US for you to getting many everyday tasks done. If you can drive, you can lease, finance, or buy a car. Despite of a car supply concerns and inflation, it has almost never been difficult to purchase a new or used car here in the United States. It's really easy to have a car here. You can just go there in the dealership, seal the deal, and then you will have your car in less than an hour. But the problem is the price. According to the recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, vehicle transaction prices, the price that you really pay after any dealer discounts or markups, have been increasing higher and quicker since 2020. So that is since pandemic, than at any other time in more than 35 years. So it is safe to say we are now experiencing inflation of car in the US. The consumer price indexes, which is measures the average increases in vehicle transaction prices over time for both new and used cars, are significantly higher today than they were 4 years ago. So purchasing a car here is one of the problems. So if you are going here, expect to have a monthly high payment for a car. That includes used car. Used and certified car is almost same as the new car. The price is almost the same. Okay, so expect that you will need a down payment. And if you don't need a down payment, you need to pay more monthly for the car. The problem is you will end up having a high APR because you don't have a credit score yet. So, but that's you can have that for a while, and then after 3 months you can refinance your car so that you will have a low monthly payment for the car. there's an option, and you can find a way to make your payment lower. All right. Then we also have few options for getting on dependable transportation. I'm talking about the public transportation. Unless you live and work in a big city, you may not need a private vehicle because there is a public transportation available in the big cities. All right. So, with a rich history, the U.S. Botanic Garden was created by Congress in 1820, and it's the country's oldest continuously running public garden. The United States Botanic Garden, which is steeped in tradition, educates the visitors about the significance and frequently irreplaceable value of plants to human health and well-being, and the planet's delicate ecosystems. The conservatory, the National Garden, and the Bartholdi Park are all located on the grounds of the U.S. Botanic Garden. So the whole family may explore the U.S. Botanic Garden for free and take in all of the amazing attractions. Every day of the year from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., the conservatory and National Garden are open. And then the National Garden is open until 7 p.m. every day. Okay? Okay, this is my favorite museum, the National Gallery of Art. As a hub for visual art, education, and culture, the National Gallery of Art was established as a gift to the country, to the United States. More than 150,000 paintings, sculptures, decorative arts, photos, prints, and drawings comprise the art collection, which spans Western art history and exhibits some of the greatest achievements in human ingenuity. The gallery provides a wide range of free public events and special exhibitions over the course of a year. Okay? Then the next challenges, cultural differences. In many areas of our lives, actually, if you have an incorrect beliefs, and this may lead to significant and unfair inequalities. So we should be informed and adapt to the new culture. That is one of the most important to avoid these cultural differences. So prepare yourself. You are in the new country. You need to adapt to the new culture. Even the established migrants, they encounter persistent communication and cultural difficulties. So we're not alone in this. Not only the new immigrants encounter problem in cultural differences. This can include everything from societal norms to bigger concerns like religion. Children, for example, could feel embarrassed if they don't know the most well-known songs, for example. Even deeds done with a good intention can come off as culturally insensitive. Let me give you an example. I live in an apartment, 7 stories building, and then there's this one time that I went home from work, and then I'm on the elevator with an old lady. So I told her, you can go ahead. And then she was offended. She said, why are you not coming with me? Do I smell bad? So my intention is not My intention is good. I don't want to go with her because I don't want her to catch up some viruses, because I came from the hospital and probably I'm having some viruses with me or bacteria. So I explained to her, no, it's not like that, mom. I came from work. I work in an ICU, and I don't want you to have some viruses. Probably I have some viruses with me right now. So I told her that, but she was offended. So therefore, people should maintain an open mind and refrain from labeling anything different as wrong. That's what we can do, I guess. Then, the next challenge is raising children. Growing up as the child of parents who immigrated to another country is not easy. The socioeconomic and psychosocial concerns that children of immigrants often face in a new country can be challenging. Depression, anxiety, and panic disorder are common among immigrants' children. The pressure that the children of immigrants face is high, and mental health support is low. Unlike there in the Philippines, back there in our home country, they have their grandmother, they have their cousin, they have their aunt. So there's a lot of support system. But here in the U.S., only you as their parents, and we don't have most of the immigrants. They came here without relatives here in the United States, and the children is really affected by that. Unlike adults, children are still in the process of creating their identities. Therefore, being cut off between two cultures can create numerous internal conflicts. And the last one is prejudice. Last but not the least. So, numerous immigrants encounter prejudice. In actuality, there has been a massive upsurge in anti-immigration sentiment. The amount of news and information you take in influences how strong your preconceptions are. And then some of the anti-immigrant sentiments, in particular, support restrictive policies. I don't want to discuss this further. I'm not really familiar with this, but I can give you an example. There are some laws, immigration laws, that says they accept more immigrants from non-Europe country than the Europe countries. So these kind of policies can create more prejudice. If they have this law, yeah, it can create some prejudice. I don't know if they have this. Example, I'm giving you just an example. So prejudice is frequently either directed to all minorities, both racial and religious, and maybe to the immigrants in general. But the good thing about it is the government doing something about it. They are boosting up their initiatives to lessen discrimination and improve integration. We now witness more anti-racism and attempts to eradicate prejudice on television. So speaking of racism or racial discrimination, have we experienced that here in the US since we came here? Well, to tell you frankly, I never experienced it. I don't know, maybe subtle discrimination, but I don't feel it at all right now. Probably because I live in Maryland, and Maryland is really diverse state. But so far, I don't feel discriminated in workplace, and also my daughter. I kept on asking her if you experience any discrimination in your school, and she said I never experienced that. So I don't know. Probably because we live in a diverse state, so maybe that's the reason. But don't be afraid of racial discrimination. You can always talk about against it. If you feel discriminated, then confront that person that's discriminating you. there's a law support anti-discrimination here in the United States. Oh, no, no. I don't know. I experienced some. Let me tell you the story. Last month, we went to breakfast in a good restaurant. Look fancy, but the price is not that expensive, and the people there, they look rich. Then they kept on looking at us. I don't know why. Probably because I'm wearing a uniform. The old lady kept on looking at me until I started to become so anxious about it. So what I did is, like, I confronted her. I talked to her, and I said, "Why are you keep on looking at me? Is there any problem?" I talked to her, and she said, "Oh, no, no, no. I'm just looking at you because you wear a uniform." So I told her, "What's the problem about it?" And she said nothing. So maybe she's afraid that I'm wearing a uniform and I work in the hospital. Maybe that's the only reason. And after that, she stopped doing it. All right? Since we ran out of time, we spent the last part of the day at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. This museum receives the most visitors worldwide. You can see why the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History is smug about their collection. Even it isn't a contest or competition, it has 146 million different things. The institution is not only the most popular natural history museum in the entire world, but its enormous neoclassical structure also occupies a prominent location on the National Mall, just a short distance from the White House. Don't get any ideas, but yeah, it is located in the best part or in the best area in the mall. Henry the African bush elephant has a permanent home in the rotunda. This rotunda is one of the most instantly recognizable museum places in the world, with its opulent archways, pillars, and balconies. Also, the Hope Diamond is a standout exhibit of the museum. Few jewels have as interesting of a backstory as this piercing blue 45-carat diamond. They said this diamond is cursed. Thankfully, any deadly curse seems to apply to those owning the diamond rather than looking at it, because over 100 million people have ogled the rock since it became part of the Smithsonian's collection in 1958. So 100 million people already have a glance on this diamond. So if they are cursed, that's a lot of people, right? Okay, so the Hall of Fossils is another location where you may learn about Earth's history by examining some of its unique remains. Consider the meticulous work that goes into arranging bones, such as that a T-Rex appears to be devouring Triceratops. What a difficult name, Triceratops. So you will enjoy this museum, especially the kids. They will enjoy it. And I think this is also the most busiest museum in the mall or at the mall. All right. So thanks for watching. I will end my video here. So please watch out for my next video. Thank you.